education, and real-world knowledge about the voiceover industry. It's the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
You know. So anyway.
No big song and dance for my intro?
No, I'm sorry. Although I'm sure you could create a beautiful one.
Oh, I could, but I want that from you, though. I want a song and dance from you. No, I'm joking. You do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm here to facilitate whatever you need.
Welcome back to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. I'm Linda Bruno. I'm so excited because this has been an anticipatory thing for many months now that we have the honor of Mr. Kevin Kilpatrick joining us as a coach for the Gurus. Yay!
I'm excited to be here. Honor? I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a few months and see how that part works out. No, the honor is mine, though. Seriously, I'm humbled. And, you know, I kind of threw something out to you several months back and you're like, I'm listening. And then, you know, some questions and a detailed interview process, a background check. And here we are.
I know. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to be gone because I'm taking my lovely wife to Greece for many, many weeks. And so it was like this little secret that had to stay hidden that I kept saying, someone's coming. Somebody great is coming. They're coming to coach and help you through your reads. I just think it's always so great to have, you know, an extra set of ears on folks that, you know, they have a chance to get another opinion on their read. And it's valuable, especially from someone who has your history as well. You've been doing this for a million gajillion years too. Yeah,
since 04 full time. I had kind of started out prior to that on a part-time basis while I was still doing my radio job. And around 2004, corporate radio was like, I was getting tired of it. I didn't lose my job. I was very humbled that my boss at the time, when I told him I'm leaving radio to do voiceover and production full time, he's like, Kevin, at the time, my radio name was Gator. So any South Florida radio fans from Kiss Country might remember Gator. But anyway, he was like, Gator, are you serious? Do you want us to try to make you stay? And I'm like, no, I'm doing this, man. I'm tired of spinning the prize wheel with listeners on the weekend. And I want to make my own schedule and I want to create my own path. So here I am nearly 20 years later and still going strong, thankfully.
But the question is, did you have a mascot at the country station that would go with you to the remotes?
Yeah, no, we didn't really have a mascot. We would, the radio DJs would go out and then we'd have the promotions crew there and we'd have the van set up. We had an RV though. It was a giant red, white and blue RV, Kiss Country. We had a big prize wheel. Yeah, I always handed out t-shirts and no mascot to speak of. I guess I was the station mascot because I was an animal.
You were.
I don't know. Yeah, they gave me that radio name, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was when I signed my agreement with the radio station at the time. I told my boss, I said, I don't want to change my name because I knew he was legendary for changing people's names. And I said, I want to keep Kevin Kilpatrick. That's what I've been called my whole life. And he's like, let's readdress that. What do you think about Gator? And I'm like, you've lost your mind. But it turned out, Linda, to be a great thing because in Arbitron ratings at the time, people fill out these diaries of who they listen to. And that's how you got listenership up. Yeah, they remember. So they remembered Gator.
Wow. That's pretty cool. We had a mascot at the second station I worked at up in Long Island, Lucky the Duck. So I would do my remotes with Lucky the Duck as we would spin the wheel of prizes.
What was the format? What was your call letters?
It was WKJY, so like adult contemporary. So
so how did the duck? I was thinking, what was it? WUCK or WDCK or just happen to have a duck.
I was Queen of Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, and Long Island love songs at night. That's what
were you kind of like a Delilah or something? Do you remember Delilah?
Yeah, she was on after us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So you're not like a Delilah. You were her lead-in. You were her opening act.
Yeah, exactly. So the old days of radio, which so many of us were started in. But you obviously made the transfer over because a lot of radio people have a tough time becoming voice actors.
Yeah. And, part of it for me, Linda, was I had a bank of automotive clients. So automotive is one of my jams. So I'm still on in I'm probably at my highest now, but I'm probably doing about 60 markets a month. I'm on in New York, by the way. Yeah. So I'm on every month. I've been on in New York for the past 12 years for this one group of dealers, Hudson. It's the Hudson group of dealers. And the spots don't sound anything like I'm talking right now. And we can, I'm sure when we get into our coaching and things that this possibly will come up. But, there's certain sounds that work well for automotive. And thankfully, a lot of it's changed because a lot of it can be just friendly, natural Kev. Hey, buy a Camry for $199 a month. But for Hudson, I do what is called the mean, angry father. And it's like, buy a Camry, $199 a month. Get it now at Hudson Toyota. So, and that's even dialed back from what I really do for them. But made the transition, had some automotive clients at the time, and automotive became my bread and butter, and it still pretty much is. And that afforded me the opportunity to transition from radio. And plus, I was still doing some production. My old radio station at the time would hire me monthly to do production for them. And so I got lucky on my transition. I don't know if it was lucky or planning, but I had some established income. And I also I was resourceful, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, baby.
That's right.
I hustle, and that's what this game is all about.
So how did you wind up deciding that you wanted to do some coaching? How did you fall into that?
Organically. I have you and I met via a casting. So I've done casting for years. I keep forgetting Michael McDonald. I keep forgetting how long ago you and I met. It's been 7-8 years, probably,
at least. No, because you found me on Voice 123.
Yeah.
And it's I think longer than that.
Yeah. And I don't think we ever did we ever do any live sessions where I directed you?
I don't know. I'm 50.
Yeah, I don't think so. Probably not for automotive. I might would have, but I don't think I did for you. But that being said, I've done cast ever since. So, and this all goes back to part of my coaching is, and part of making money in this industry is it all adds up. I'll say that constantly to people. It all adds up. And I'm talking about many different aspects, being a pro, being, good at what you do, being resourceful, being available, being easy to work with. And one of those things is being an answer, a resource. So in the beginning, I had clients that were like, hey, Kev, you're great, but we've got some crossover we're going to get another dealer on in the same market, but we can't use your voice. Can you find another male voice? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Same with finding, hey, Kev, you found us another great male. Can you find us a great female? I'm like, yeah, let's go on Voice 123 and see if we can find Linda Bruno. And that happened. And so getting to the coaching part of it. So I've always done casting pretty much ever since I made the transition.
Gotcha.
So I got clients that would be like, Kev, could you get this, talent to do it this way and this way? I'm like, yeah, I can. So I started directing. So I've been directing since I first started. And, I trained my ear. I know it sounds good to me. And so that's kind of how it came about. And then just throughout the years, I've always had people ask, how do you get into voiceover? I've been told I've got a good voice, Kevin. How can I get into voiceover? And first thing is, stop talking like this, Dan. No. But that happens. And so I've just always offered advice and tips and, throughout the years. And so it just kind of happened organically. And the first official coaching I've done, I guess, is probably at Voiceover Atlanta, where I call her my work wife, but she's my podcast partner, Bobby Maxwell. She and I, hosted a workout group at VO Atlanta. We did a speaking session there, and that was probably the first official one, although I was very comfortable in that. And so I've been doing Christy Bowen, who runs Tennessee Voiceover Studios, formally invited me to be one of her coaches here in Nashville. And so that happened a few years ago. And now I have been honored and humbled to join the VO Gurus. So here I am.
All right.
Is that a long enough roundabout rambling on version of your question?
No, that's great. It makes sense, though, because, I know automotive is such a huge part of your life, but Of course, and if you're a patient person and you listen, you can, coaching can be a natural next step. You have to have that patience and have that open-mindedness to. I had a great compliment given to me the other day from a student. He also he coaches, what do you call it? Public speaking. Mm-hmm. And he does it for corporate. And he does it online too, especially since COVID. But he said to me, he goes, there's two types of coaches. He says, there's the coach that teaches you their method and they try to get you into their method of doing something. And then there's the coach that finds your strong points and helps you flourish with what you have. And he says, and you're that type of coach. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so honored to hear that, because it's true. If you have the patience and the willingness to really listen and pay attention to someone's performance and what they bring to the microphone, the table, you can help them hopefully find something else within themselves to bring out a better performance and become a better performer, a better voice actor.
I agree with that assessment 100%, because one of the things I was going to mention is, with coaching, I think it's valuable for we coaches to coach ourselves and train mm-hmm. ourselves with other coaches, because we need that perspective. We need that outside voice. And in my experience with what you just said, it's been exactly that. I've worked with folks who've got a method. They've got a way that they want to try to get you in that method. And I see great value in that. Mm-hmm. I also see the value in and I'm like you. I listen to see where the person is and listen to what they're all about and try to get to them that way on a connection basis, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm going to try to fit you. I'm not going to try to fit you into a mold that I've created. I'm going to try to mold you in a way that I hear. And when I hear some progress, I'm going to try to tap into that a little bit more.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree with you 100% on those two different ways to do coaching.
It's a process. When asked me, said, well, how do I know if I'm going to be good at promo, if I'm going to be good at whatever? And look, we start with commercials and we go from there. This is, to me, it has to, just like you said, organically. I can throw a bunch of different scripts at you. Let's see. You might hate promos. You might hate, doing automotive, or you might fall in love with it. There's just so many avenues, because I know a lot of talent ask that. And they say, well, how do I know what I'm going to be good at? With your coach, you hopefully you'll have a coach that'll support you in whichever direction, but obviously what you get booked for, you kind of find out there what you're good at as well. Yeah.
It's funny. A funny story. When I started doing this full time in 2004, I reached out to this guy, a guy in San Francisco. I can't think of his name, but he is an OG legend. I don't even think he does a lot of voiceover anymore. It was initials. It's like JK or something. Anyway, but he started out in the business as a writer. Now he's not a producer. He is he's a writer and a voice actor. Boom, done. I think he did casting and stuff like that. Yeah. But he did a lot of national stuff. He was always on Voice 123, giving advice to people. And I hit him up one day and I said, would it be cool if I sent you some samples? And this is, remember, 2004, 2005.
Wow.
I sent him some samples. And he so graciously spent the time and wrote me this thoughtful note back. And it was just incredible. But what he said to me at the time has come true to this day. He said, Kevin, you sound great, but you got a little bit of an announcer sound. He said, with the right work, you could do promos. You could do trailers with the right amount of work and training and stuff. He goes, but I do see you doing a lot of corporate narration and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. And that's kind of, I do commercial work. I do automotive. I do a ton of automotive. But I do a lot of corporate work. I do a ton of e-learning. And, I do a handful of national spots throughout the year that I'm very grateful to get. And I know to this day that it's because of getting back to training. It's getting back to training. Linda, I think I've told you the story, but I refocused myself in 2018 and started training with coaches because I wanted to get back to my original goal of doing national stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am, 5 years later, and I'm starting to see the fruits of that labor. Getting back to your point about what people are going to be good at, we don't know. No. We don't really know. You got to explore it. You got to think about what you love. Like, Audiobooks, I've done a few of them, but they're not for me like
Yeah.
regular. I do get a desire to do them now and then though. And
See?
then after I do one, I go, oh yeah, that's why I don't do a lot of them. So,
You
but I
scratch the
enjoy
itch,
what
and
I
that's
do.
it.
And
Yeah.
there's any number of things that we can do in this business and be successful.
We just don't know. But it's good to try a bunch of things and not limit yourself no matter what, So that's great. So it's good to also humbly feel that feeling of let me go back and let me get some coaching and have someone else listen to me and how I perform. Because you get another. I did that with casting directors in the city. They do online workouts. And I will, and they've known me for years. And so they know what scripts to send me. And then they know, okay, they tell me things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that I wasn't doing that or what, and I'm still nervous as all get out though. Honestly, I feel for people that come to our online workouts, especially for the first time. I feel for you because it is so nerve wracking. You're sitting there and you're waiting, you're looking at the script, you're waiting. When's it going to be my turn? And here I still feel that way.
Yeah, I did a promo workshop with one of the voices of CBS. I don't know, a couple of months ago, and it was a room full of talented people. And yeah, it's my turn, and I'm like, yeah, nervous as all get out. And to your point again, in 2018, when I started my rebirth and my refocus on getting bigger and better gigs. That was the most humbling thing at the time. Not because I'm cocky. It's because it's like it was the nerves. It was like they're going to think I suck. They're going to be like, "How'd you even make money in this business?" And that was my fear. And like you said, anybody that's coming to this brand new, just know that we've done it ourselves and we've humbled ourselves and we've gone through those nerves. And it is tough, and we do understand it.
Yeah. I try to also let people know too that with the classes and things that I've taken, especially the in-person stuff up here in New York, there's a lot of really very tough coaches and very tough teachers who are not nice. And I hated how I was feeling. I hated how I felt going to the class. All week I would be nervous thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to, because I did like on camera, I did improv, I did a bunch of stuff. And I thought, you know what, if I ever do this, I do not want to ever have a student feel like they're dreading coming, to coach with me and learn from me. And it's just, you have to, I don't know, to me, creativity does not blossom under those circumstances. And now with AI performance, you got to nail it, or you can just kiss being in voiceover goodbye. So you have to be a performer. There's no way around it. You have to get those acting chops down, and you got to be, because what else? What do we have left?
Yeah, because you can't rely on your good voice.
No,
you can't. And I cannot imagine anybody ever going, oh my gosh, she's gonna be mean to me. Linda, be nice.
I believe it or not, some people and I get it. They don't know me, so sometimes they get. But the ones they realize, no, I'm just a big goofball like the rest of us. And you have to be in this business.
Yeah, but you also have to convey your point, and you have to be firm when necessary. And, I'm the same, but I'm going to do it in the nicest way possible. You're not going to get you suck. No,
just going to say that.
That's me talking to myself, by the way. That's how I coach myself.
Abusing yourself. Yes, I know. That we have, I've been beating the drum for people to join the Circle community because I'm transitioning away from Facebook, because we have the Facebook community, but it didn't have all the elements that I wanted to incorporate with everybody. And the Circle community is so cool because we can have these nice little chat rooms and these areas where people can either complain about things or some things for mental health as well, in the Circle community. Now we're doing this weekly script read. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to any of the ones from last week, Kevin.
I did. I listened to all of them, actually.
Did you?
Yes.
It's so cool to hear. Isn't it awesome to hear other people read the same script?
Yes, it was enlightening, and it was funny because one of the students that read, I guess it's okay to say, but I think I'm going to be directing him in a demo coming
Awesome.
up through another source.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was like, what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a small
So that
little
was kind of
community.
funny. It is. Yeah, and people will find that out too. The voiceover world can be small.
Hmm.
And the circles run around each other, they connect and they interact, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, especially like several of the students I know have gone and been with a lot of other coaches, which I encourage. I think, whatever you can gain from someone else's coaching or demo production, by all means, as long as you're not getting screwed over, that's all
Yeah.
I care about. As long as someone's not just selling you this $6,000, I'm not going to coach you and I'm going to put something shiny on it. I can't handle that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just from my perspective, I guarantee I have coached with probably close to a dozen coaches,
Wow.
Throughout the years. And sometimes it'd be a one-off. I have now, on one hand, are the ones that I can count that I've had multiple sessions with,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the ones I see value in, that work for me,
Mm-hmm.
that resonate with me, and it'll be different for everybody. But yeah, you can glean stuff from everybody that you work with, and sometimes you do find a great connection and you want to stick with one coach. So you can certainly take that route. But yeah, like Linda said, there's nothing wrong with having multiple coaches.
I liken it to my short-lived golf addiction, where I was taking lessons for like 7 years.
Short-lived.
Yeah. And I found this fantastic pro who I love. He was fantastic. And then for some reason, I couldn't connect with the chip shot with how he was telling me how to hold everything and how to move my body. So one day I wind up at one of my favorite golf courses out here on Long Island. There was another pro there, and I'm like, what? I'm going to take a lesson with this guy. And we work on the chip shot, and how he explained it clicked for me. And it was just, oh, wow, just a different approach helped me in regards to that one thing. So this whole time, all these years with this one coach, which again, I'm not taking anything away from him because I learned the majority of what I know, it just took that one other opinion to say, let's shed a little light on this and show you a different way, because it wasn't clicking for me with the other coach. Does that make sense?
100%, 100%. But my real question is, why short-lived? Are you not still playing? Are you still playing?
I'm not as frequently. In all honesty, my mother moved up from Florida, so she lives upstairs, and I have to help her a lot with things. And then I got married and my life shifted. So for that 7-year period of time, I was single.
Okay.
I had no responsibilities.
And disposable income.
Yes, I was at the height of a lot of my clients. I was working a lot. And so I would go and play golf all the time. It's an expensive sport.
Yes,
And,
it is.
And yeah, so that's what happened. Then all of a sudden life shifted and I was like, oh God, I can't get out on the golf course this weekend. And then you got to find someone who wants to play with you. And then I was in a league for many, many years.
Wow.
An executive women's business league, a bunch of me and old ladies playing. And I loved it, but just life shifted.
I love how affectionately you said that. Me and a bunch of old ladies.
Well, there were some very competitive leagues, and I didn't want to play those women. They were the ones that were doing like eagles, like every time they'd go out. And I don't want to do that. I want
What's your handicap? Do you carry a handicap?
Oh, I'm not one I discuss.
Okay. My handicap is my swing. Hi-oh.
No, I got extremely obsessed, and it became just like living, breathing, eating golf. And then I was a range rat. So I would constantly be there. I would be 20 degree weather at the heated stalls. I'd be hitting balls in January.
You were a professional practicer.
Yes. So then I'd get on the course and I'd be okay. And then I'd hit a bad shot. And then one time I walked off a course and I started crying. And I thought, I am not in the PGA, LPGA. What the heck is going on? I have to release. So this is my personality. I know when I got to step away from it for a while. So that's what happened.
You're taking it a little bit too seriously.
Yeah, it's true. And when you take it too seriously, then I don't know, you lose it.
Yeah, I get it. But the important thing is we are taking what is important seriously, and that's our voiceover careers.
Yes, very true.
You like that segue?
I was going to say, oh, that was interesting. But also, I like the golf is always like a good little referral point for me. When I don't think about my swing, when I release my brain, it's a beautiful swing. I hit it the sweet spot. It's like with a performance with a script. If you're thinking about the technical, if you're in your head criticizing yourself and saying, oh, I should have said it like that, or I should have like my voice doesn't sound right here. You get out of the performance. And then you have to release. You have to release, let go, trust, have faith that your training has, paid off in some sense. Something has sunk in, and go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's muscle memory.
Yeah. But that brain just gets in the way of everything.
Oh, it does. And I'll hear that a lot from coaches that I work with and train under, stop overthinking it. Stop getting in your own way. And that's so true. So true.
It's tough to do, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. How do you shut it out?
I go to my happy place. So I think about being on the golf course with a big old glass of bourbon. And that's my it's hard. Sometimes I really connect with stuff. And then I know when I phone it in. I know. But I know how challenging it is. But sometimes I'm in my happy place within the script, and I'm like, oh, this speaks to me. And I can get there. But I try to shut it all down, but it's hard. I don't have a go-to to get to my happy place. I've got a go-to of trying to get myself in the situation, within the script, thinking about the scene and all that good stuff. And I will find a way to connect that way. But, sometimes it's artificial, but sometimes it's good enough to work,
Right. So are you finding that you're talking about with auditions or jobs or both?
Auditions mostly, like, trying to find that, like I got booked, and then I just found out that they're postponing the project. So I kind of got booked, and then they said, nope, sorry. But this is just this week too. But for this script, it was a medical too. Dang it, it was a medical. And I'm like, it was very complicated. I don't want to say what the medicine was because people will, know. And but there was a lot of this plus this allows you to do this, and this happens, and this happens. Well, all this medical stuff. And I'm like, the focus for me was getting the wording right and saying the wording properly. And so I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, got in the booth, and I was able to say it fluidly. And sometimes that's all it takes for medical sometimes,
right?
To be cool and just get the words out and say I'm cool and smooth and you're going to be good. And like, hey, I'm caring, I'm warm, and I'm good. I know what I'm talking about with this medical stuff. And it only sounded like I knew what I was talking about because I spent so much time getting the wording right.
Sure.
So yeah, whatever works. So that wasn't necessarily a happy place for me, but it was technique. And sometimes that works.
Yeah. You find your methods and your ways to get through it. Well, we have your first workout. You're going to be joining us when it'll be the week of, because this podcast is going to be on the Monday of the Wednesday workout that we are doing together.
Awesome.
Your first.
So we can say this week is my first workout. We can say that.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
It is. It's sold out at this point. But it is going to be probably one of the few times that all three coaches are going to be together. But it'll be great because you'll get a chance to work with Alyssa and see how awesome she is, and she'll see how awesome you are. It'll just be a whole bunch of awesomeness.
Oh, give me a tissue. That's very sweet. I'm looking
so what do you think is your most favorite thing to coach, like genre?
That's a great question. I can coach automotive all day long. I feel pretty good about documentary and narration. E-learning, I can coach e-learning all day long. Commercial work, I feel confident in too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't know if my favorite would necessarily be what I'm strongest at. Mm-hmm. Because commercial stuff, I book commercials, but, coaching in commercials is like, it's gotta be, I gotta listen to where the person is and how they're connecting with the script and these kinds of things and see where that goes. Automotive, I pretty much have a formula, going back to the formula versus organic approach, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like working with people, and I love hearing people improve. I was humble brag. I was directing a demo session last week. Actually did directed 2 demo sessions last week, Linda.
Wow.
And it was just so great because one of the actors that I worked with, she brought me to tears doing this autism spot. And that's what I was hoping for. And I said, okay, we're done with this one. We're done with this one because you're not going to see me like this anymore during this session.
Wow.
And then the guy that I worked with, he's an up and comer. And to just hear him with his natural sound, just nail this GIF thing that we were doing and get it exactly as I was hearing it in my head.
Yeah.
That's super rewarding. So the genre to me doesn't matter. It's the seeing the results is what matters.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah, that's right. You're pretty experienced with the demo production. You've been doing that forever, right?
I've been doing, here the last couple of years, it's really picked up, and that's by, I don't market it. I don't talk about it. I don't blast it on social.
Mm-hmm.
It's just referrals. And that's kind of picking up, and it's just, I know what that process is like. I've been producing stuff since I was knee high to a coyote. That's a Tennessee saying, by the way. And I really have, because I cut my teeth in radio producing stuff, slicing tape together and, messing with stuff. But now I know how the demo world works, and I know what it takes and this kind of stuff. So I have been producing a lot of stuff lately. I thoroughly enjoy that. I thoroughly enjoy putting something together with my crew that is compelling and can be effective and can get noticed and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So really enjoying that side. And yeah, it has, I guess I'm fortunate and blessed, but it has picked up. I'm very fortunate to stay busy as I am.
Kevin, I think you should stay in this industry. I think you've got a lot going for you.
You know what? And here I thought I was going to take being a professional gardener because I can grow a mean tomato.
I'm predicting that I think you're going to do really, really well.
Yeah, I would suck at the gardening part because I would much rather be watching baseball or playing golf in the summer than tending a garden. That's for sure. Agreed.
I'm so glad that you came on. This is fantastic. Can I ask what's happening with your podcast?
Yes. So the Making Waves VO podcast is dropping very soon. I'm proud to say that we have a presenting sponsor for the podcast.
Yay!
So I know I'm excited about that. We've already got, our methods are different in terms of our podcast. I've got 3 in the can right now, that are still being edited. One's pretty much ready to go, but I'm going to be dropping them weekly. As I get them rolled out. I'm still working out some wording with the sponsor. So that's what's holding that up just a little bit. But yeah, the Making Waves VO podcast with my partner, Bobby Maxwell, that is going to be dropping by the end of October. Fingers crossed.
Fantastic. Well, your stuff is always organized. I like to fly by the seat of my pants.
Oh, well, hey, if you only knew. It's like, I'm like the what is it, the metaphor of the duck? He's swimming like crazy underneath, but he looks smooth on top of the water. That's me all the time. I've been called a hot mess more than once in my career.
My problem is I get inspired by something I hear, and all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, that would be good to add. And then it's like, boom, I'm off in a different direction, but I try to stay organized. But thank you for joining me today. A true pleasure.
Well, it's an honor, Linda. It's great talking to you as always. And I value our friendship and looking forward to what our partnership brings in the near future.
Yes. So folks, you want more information? Kevin is already on our website. And yeah, he's going to be coaching with us probably at least once a month in a workout, I would imagine. But of course, available for private coaching. So, and especially if you automotive, man, that's an awesome industry. But yeah, I'm just glad that you were able to join me so we could say hello to everybody and welcome you to the Voiceover Gurus.
Thank you so much for having me.
Get more information if you'd like to about coaching, anything that we do at voiceover.guru. And thanks again for joining us. Have a great day. Fabulous.
Should I start recording now?
I can always take it from Zoom.
Thanks for listening to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry. Learn more about us and get coaching at voiceover.guru.